emotional thoughts already there. Many of you have asked me the question, why do you take a lot of effort to keep talking about something which is so, creating a hospital, medical college? So many people have done it. So why is it that you look so worried, furrowed eyebrows when things don't go the way you want it to? Many of you have asked me the question when I said BK3, BI5, what does all this mean? What does it mean to be the best? Where are we today? So, as part of the Institutional Academic Forum, as Dr. John introduced it, we are hoping that as a community we will come together here once a week for an hour. And that hour will be an inspirational hour for us. Because during that hour, we will hear from luminaries amongst us, because there are brilliant people amongst us. And I'm hoping that during that 1 hour, they lift themselves up to a higher level so that we become inspired to do even better. The problem with education in Kerala, in most parts of India, is that as long as something is taught, degree is given, everybody is happy. My desire, our desire is, even those who are with us for 1 month, 2 months, should go with a touch of something special. So that wherever they go, they will make a difference. Have you heard of this lady called Faye D'Souza? She was on the front page of the Vogue magazine. She was the one who was anchoring Mirror Now. About 2 months ago, she stepped down from journalism of that kind. She's no longer in the television series. But she gives a talk for about 15 minutes, talking about how the young people in India today have more values than we have, how they want to make a difference. And I'm hoping that those who come here to be part of Believers will leave with what I call the idea of Believers, and adapt that to their lives, to their situations, to their experiences, so that through all this, we will make our country be better. We will make each one of us want to do something better for each other and for the nation as a whole. If you had listened to the NDTV series with Ruchir Sharma, who is an international author, speaker, about the 10 big changes that are going to happen in the world in the next 5 years, 10 years, you would have been shocked. But it was, for me, exciting, because lots of things that we have in mind. For example, just to give you one example, they say that big businesses will fail, smaller ones will grow, but everyone hereafter who start things will also have a social component in it. For me, it warmed the cockles of my heart to hear that when you are trying to make money, people have understood the need to take others also along with them. Now, our whole idea is something different, something special. And the difficulty for us is to make people understand that it is possible to be different and yet reach the goal, maybe even greater than the goal. So when Martin Luther King, in that famous sermon of his, or speech of his, at Lincoln Center, when he gave that talk saying, I have a dream, and later there's a book written on, many books written on it. When he said, I have a dream, he said that he has a dream that one day my nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of this creed. What is the creed we have? What is the vision we have? What are the values that we have set for ourselves? So unless we keep asking ourselves this on and off, we might just live lives as if you come in the morning, just do a little bit and go. But is it possible to touch lives of others who come to be a part of us, and then they go and make a difference elsewhere? So what is the idea of Believers? What are the core values and objectives that we have set for ourselves? And I hope I might make some provocative statements, and I'm doing this advisedly, and I'm doing this purposely. I hope that you will react. I hope you will respond, so that in the next week you will write to me saying, oh, that what you said is not right. Or you will write and say, no, we were hoping for much more. You didn't say enough. That's what I want to hear. I want you to correct me. I want you to go beyond what I'm saying, so that we have something more to dream about, to think together. So, 6.5 years ago, some of us got together in CMC Vellore, sat for quite a while, and wrote this vision statement, bringing hope and healing with the love of Christ. And that's now ingrained into us. So yesterday when the ophthalmology department made this presentation about what they were doing, the most important thing that they said was, we were able to help so many people. Thank you for giving us the money to do that. And that was really exciting to hear. So how do we bring hope and healing to everyone who comes here? Can we promise ourselves that no one who comes here, that everyone who calls us will be touched by God's love? Can we say that we will not turn anybody away? Can we say that this is a fantastic opportunity, an opportunity that most people do not have? That when they call you, when they come here, we see each individual as a person who represents the God you serve. So that in their lives we bring hope, we bring healing. I'm not asking you to cure everybody, but we can heal everyone. And that's a legacy you're going to leave behind, because the number of people who will talk about the love that you shared, that you gave everyone, will be so remarkable that you will make a difference within this land that we love so much. There were 3 mission aspects that we set ourselves, and I just want to quickly go over them with you, just in case you have forgotten. The first is that we will be a center of scholarship as well as caring. The two don't go together. The more you become a scholar, the more distant you become from people. The more scientific you are, the more you go into space, the less you want to see of the people around you. How do you marry these two? How do you bring these together? Can you be a world-class center of art and science at the same time, along with being professional in all that you do? Can you go that extra bit and care? When you say, I have a doctor friend who, when he visits his patients, when he finds that the older people need some singing, he sings along with them. We had that great experience here during Christmas time. There was this man, one of your patients, medicine patient, Dr. Vijay Kumar, who had he had his left leg amputated. And we could see that he was depressed. Actually, as we went singing, his wife called us in. And when we went in, he was just totally disconnected with us. We sang 1 song, 2 songs, and fortunately for us, his wife just mentioned, he is also a singer. And the next half an hour was bliss, because slowly he began to sing, and he sang 3 beautiful songs that he had written himself. And there was a smile on his face. But this can happen only if we connect with our people. That connection is very important. Therefore, we've set ourselves targets, which Dr. John taught me, and therefore I'm going to bring it up here. But that connection will never replace the amount of excellence that you in scholarship. So therefore, believers, one of the main ideas in believers is that all that we have, all that we learn, all that we know, all the science that we have is to be a blessing to others. So others are the ones who are important. Others means your colleagues who are others, the patients who come, the students who come, and therefore exhibiting that kind of professionalism, excellence with compassion and holistic care. Can we do this? We can. But we've got to put that at the top of our priority list, And I always say the night before going to sleep, ask yourselves, what are the challenges that are there for me tomorrow? And be prepared in the morning prayerfully to face, to respond to the challenges that come to you the following day. The second is partnership. We are not going to work in isolation. We want to work along with others. And I'm sure the Sabarimala experience was fantastic. What we're doing with the government is great. More and more of that to be available for others. The third is advocacy, and we've done nothing on the slides. Dr. Girija is going to do a whole program with Megha so that she tells people how to look after children. But each one of you has got knowledge much more than most other people in Kerala. So therefore, advocacy need not mean standing up on the streets and fighting. Advocacy means very gently telling the world that there is a better way, there is a greater way, there is a higher calling for which we can welcome people to be with us. So therefore, I just want to tell you that the period of initiation is over. We can't keep telling ourselves that, let's get started. That's over. 5 years and that period of initiation is over. We are into what we call the period of consolidation and further development. So from where we are, we've got a platform now. And we've got to think of how do we do better. And my request to each one of you is, after this, during the course of this week, please meet as departments and ask yourselves, what are we going to do in the next 1 year? We've asked for some kind of reports. Just 1 page is enough. What are you planning to do in the course of this 1 year? And secondly, ask yourselves, where do I want to be 5 years from now as a department, as an institution? There are 7 aspects of our lives which you need to know. I think you know, but I'm just putting it down. We are a faith-based, church-based, mission-based, value-based organization. But I want you to know that when I stated 4 principles right at the beginning when we started, during the interviews, and I said that we cannot pay anything to you in black, it will be only entirely what the government wants. When I said that we will not allow private practice, when I said that we will not give any cuts, that we will not give any incentives, many people who came for the interview told me, Sare, ividunnu karinju povum, naanam kettu povum, Keralathil idu nadakkukilla. And I said, in that case, I'm happy to go back whenever you send me back. Adu vere, as long as I'm here, I will try my best. And I'm grateful to God for 370 doctors who believe in this, 2,334 staff who believe in a dream, as Martin Luther King said, one day. But that one day has already arrived because we got this whole group of people working together. I want to tell you one of the exciting things for me as director of CMC Velo was I had 6,002 staff. And at that time there, we had each staff had 1 person, 5 people as their dependents. So I proudly believed that I am a steward for 30,000 people. I used to visit them in their homes. It was very exciting times to be part of a large community. And then of course, there's the diaspora all around the world. I want to believe that myself and each one of you, you own 2,334 brothers and sisters. And I think that's what Dr. John was trying to say. Can we all together rise to a greater height? And fortunately for us, this church does not interfere in the way you run this hospital and medical college. It's a big blessing, not given to anyone else. So far in the last 5 years, we have been allowed to do. So anywhere there is a lacuna, it is because we've not done something that we should do. So we continue to be totally with the church, the mission, but the values as an organization, we need to learn to carry it forward. Secondly, we are a community. And I want you to remember this. This is not easy. We've come together as a community on and off. When the floods came, that was a great time when we were as a community. When Dr. Das was called to his heavenly home, we came together as a community. When there are problems and tragedies, yes. But we need to be a community all the time which is caring, compassionate, and empathetic, so that the world sees that this eye phenomenon that everybody talks about need not be there. We can still be eyes, but the we helps us to be empowered together. We talked about the third one is excellence and excellence-oriented college and hospitals. We cannot say that we are being kind and compassionate, and therefore it doesn't matter how good we are. We have to be the very best. Knowledge, scholarship, but more importantly, skills development. All of us have to learn to be skilled. Unfortunately, the skills part is not emphasized at all in education in most parts of India, definitely not in Kerala. So it is the skills that help you to become empowered. It's the skills that help you to do better and better. And then this whole thing about the kingdom of God perspective. The nurture, the human capital investment, the human resource development, that no one who comes to you, even a junior doctor who's with you for a month, will go touched by your care, by God's love. And that's why the 45 people we interviewed this time after the NEET exam, this is what they said. They did not say that they were nurtured, but they said, we were told that if you come to Believers, we will get the best possible overall learning to prepare for NEET. Kattapana, Kozhikode, Trivandrum, I asked all these people, why do you leave all those hospitals and come here? This is what they said. In Believers, we are told that we will get a nurture that will help us towards the exam. But we've got to go to the next mile and say, when you come to Believers, we are told that even 1 month, 2 months, 6 months will have a transformational effect, that lives would be touched. Then this whole thing about innovation. In our country, you probably know that our rating has gone down by 10 to 51 in the democratic nations in the world. You know that the latest index, the GDP is down to 4.8%. In our country, we cannot do what everybody else does. We have to be able to innovate. We have to be able to create newer models. And this research orientation, ask questions and say, can I do it better? Can I make a difference? Can I do something which is different from the rest of the country? We don't have to follow the beaten track, and you have the opportunity to do that here. Ask questions, keep asking questions, and thereby make a difference. And many of you have done that. I'm grateful to those who've done that, but I hope more and more of us just don't accept the ordinary. When you sit in your lab, keep on asking yourself the question, can I make this test can I do something better? Can I think of another way? Can I make things more affordable, available to our people? So, also comes the partnerships, outreach, and missions. So therefore, these 7 aspects of what we are becomes very important. Faith, caring, excellence, knowledge, nurture, innovation, and partnerships. So therefore, we set ourselves 2 watchwords for 2019, and I think we did reasonably well with the compassionate care and the contagious smile. And I hope that people left here touched by the compassion as well as smiles radiated to wherever people came from. So the tagline I'm going to suggest, and this is why I said I want you to react, I want you to respond and say, no sir, what you said is wrong. We have something better. And I hope within the next week we'll get lots of new things. These are just thoughts, random thoughts that came. What can the tagline be? If you're believers, you can believe in us. Is that a good one? If I am a believer, I am from Believers, you can believe in us. You can trust us. We will touch your lives. We will transform your lives. One of the things many of you keep telling me is that you don't give any advertisements. You're not telling the world anything about us. But remember, the ways of the world need not be our way. There are much better ways. Patients come here because of word of mouth, because somebody is telling somebody else of their wonderful experience. But then you can have taglines. the very, I mean, you know about so many wonderful one-word taglines. If you have a better one, please tell us. We'll adopt that. Okay. The credit for these 4 words is to the great Dr. John Valiant. One day, I think he doesn't sleep at night. He just, all these things go through his mind, I think. Morning, first thing, he caught me and he said, can we have 3 words, 4 words, C's? And therefore, he gave us these words: compassion, commitment, communication, collaboration. All 4 in some ways, where he said, compassion, I think we are doing well. The other 3, we are not doing very well. Can you concentrate on that? So this is how this came. So therefore, compassion, he tells me that we are doing reasonably well. We could do better. There is no limit to compassion. And my good friend Dr. Samuel Chittaranjan explained to me yesterday that compassion doesn't come from man, doesn't come from woman, it comes from God. That is something, an outpouring of something internal. Either gratitude for what you have received, or anyway, Sam would take a 1-hour talk on this if you allow him to. So compassion, remember, it is God in you that helps you reach out in a spirit of caring and compassion. So I won't go into that very much, but commitment is something that I have to ask you for. Commitment to the cause, commitment to the institution, commitment to each other, and commitment to the people whom you serve. This is something that you have to promise yourself. That commitment will express itself in so many different ways. It could be just that extra touch. It could be that extra care that you give. It could be that extra hour you spent. It could be that extra word that you spoke. How can your commitment to the cause of believers, to the cause that we are here for, translate into changes in your approach? I would have loved to do this on the 31st, but we can do it even now. During the course of this year, ask yourself, what is that extra bit that you're going to do this year to express your commitment to the cause? You know, I travel up and down a lot by train, and usually when I sit in the compartment, somebody will come and put his hand out. I show him my ID card. He hardly looks at my face. He walks away. But one day, as I was sitting there, I think I was looking at my mobile, I heard my name expressed, Dr. Chandy. Wow, I was very impressed. Even in the train they know me, I thought to myself. I'm so popular, well known. Looked up, it was the ticket exam. How did he know my name? I thought to myself. He didn't do anything very special. He had my name there. All he did was take that little extra care to ask me, to call me by my name, which nobody else so far in all my life had done. And I must say that really made me encourage and ask myself, do I make others feel this way? And you know what happened? 1 month later, I was struggling again. This gentleman came again, did the same thing to me. And this time I couldn't but help asking him, sir, why do you do this? Why did you take that extra effort? You know what he said? Sir, I have this 8-hour duty. It's very boring. Okay, because I just have to sign this. So I found an interesting way to keep myself happy. So I connect with people. I just told myself, what a privilege God has given us to connect with human beings, with other lives. What an opportunity to hear stories. What an opportunity to learn more and more about them. And in the process, just listening to them, you will touch lives. With those of you who are in the teaching community, every life that is given to us is so valuable. And therefore, it's a simple way to do it is to ask yourself, if it were my child, if it were my father, mother, brother, sister, what would I do? Whether it is in hospital, whether you are anesthetizing somebody, whether you are teaching, all this, very simple. What do I do? And I keep asking myself this. If it were my son, my daughter, what would I do with the children who come to us? It's not easy. But in doing this, it becomes so exciting. So I'm just asking you to commit yourself to a change of this sort. There's one on communication. There's not much time, but I'll quickly go over that, but I won't do that now. But the fourth one is equally important, collaboration. The problem we have in the emergency room, when there is a big delay in patients getting admitted, is because of a lack of collaboration. But the fact that our stroke work is going very well, the fact that our cardiac work is going very well, all that means there is a lot of collaboration. Can we work towards greater collaboration during the course of this year? And there are 3 A's that will help us in doing this. One is try to be available to one another, to be available for each other. Third is to be a little more approachable. People should feel comfortable to come to us, and in order to do that, we need to be adaptable. That adaptability, as you get older, becomes more and more difficult to come by, but we need to teach ourselves, tell ourselves to be more adaptable. I just want to quickly go over the communication bit. This is where we lack a lot, because we do not want to communicate, because it comes in the way of our own lives. So if we cage ourselves in, communication becomes difficult. But we need to practice that. In communication, there's a lot written about it. Beckman and Barley wrote about how to gather information, transmit information, how to build a relationship, support the patient and family, helping the patients get better, healing rather than curing. And there is a protocol. There are two principles that I laid. One is called CLASS, the other is called SPIKES. Maybe if you're interested, I can do a full session with you on that, because C stands for context, L for listening skills, A for acknowledging the emotional situation. You know, there's an Achan who sings that beautiful song, Oru Madiyam Thira Thora. You know, one of the things that I was touched by what he said. It's a friend of mine named Reggie Thomas who looked after him while he was in Vellore. He said when he went into his room, the thing that touched him most was, this Reggie is a huge fellow. He said, as soon as I came in, he said, Achan idanate. And then he moved his chair from where he was towards him. Sajan Achan will talk about that even today. That little gesture, acknowledging his situation where he thought he was going to die, and being with him in that emotional journey helped him significantly. And then you plan the strategy for management, the summary and closure, the CLASS principles, or this one called SPIKES, where there is the setting, there is the patient perception, where we understand what the patient feels, an invitation. This is all part of the history taking. Then, as you listen, as you examine, knowledge sharing, exploring emotions, and there is a strategy and management that goes further on that. We can do a full talk on that later, but I just want to remind you in the next 5 minutes that we have lots of challenges that lie ahead of us. One is in the area of education, because the Pioneer Batch 2016 as final years, when they come to us, we have to set a new tone, we should be new role models for them. We are introducing clerkships. They'll be here till about 9 o'clock, and our presence, involvement with them becomes extremely important. Lots of PG programs going to start. Dr. Matteethra's MD will start now. Lots of other dependees will start during the course of this year. Many high specialty courses. The nurse practitioner program we will begin soon after we get Mini to apply for the excellence programs in nursing, which we will be, and I'm pretty sure we are the best in the country. Many university allied health courses, I'm hoping, you, Joji and their team will get this done. In the area of services, we're going to have a big change because of clinical hematology. This is what we do well. The specialists are here, but post-hospital care, or how we build up this into the healthcare toffee, so that at least Pathanamthitta district, everybody, we can care for them, so that they can call us. Do you remember when you bought your washing machine? What is it that was most important to you? The aftercare. When your machine does not work, you wanted a person whom you can call at any time, so that he would send an engineer to repair it, isn't it? Why is it in our lives we don't want that? Why is it that when we have cared for people, we send them off without even telling them when to come back? Why is it that we have no facility for patients to call and ask us when they are in trouble? Why is it that I get a call yesterday from the United States of America asking me, "Ningalde critical care രാത്രി doctors ഉണ്ടോ?" ഒരാളുടെ കൈ ഇങ്ങനെ വീണ് കിടക്കും, എന്നെ വിളിച്ച് ചോദിക്കുക, അത് നോക്കാനായിട്ട് അവിടെ രാത്രിയൊക്കെ ഡോക്ടേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. It's because our aftercare has failed. It's because when you go, you don't tell them. നമ്മൾ എഴുതുന്നുണ്ട്, but we don't tell them you have a problem. And I'm not telling the seniors to be available all the time, but somebody should be there at the end of the line for them to say, when my toilet is not working, I need somebody to call. But when my heart doesn't work, don't you think they should have somebody to call? I hope that will be the big change that we need. You know why we are so busy over weekends and when Christmas comes? It's because all other hospitals are closed, because they are all on holiday. So we become the center that makes itself available. And that is what we talk about, bringing hope and healing with the love of Christ. So I just want to end with Abdul Kalam's that famous poem which he wrote when he was walking in the Mughal gardens in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. I climbed and climbed, where is the peak, my Lord? I searched and searched, where is the treasure, my Lord? I sailed and sailed, where is the island of peace, my Lord? Three very important principles. And he goes on to say, grant my people the vision and the sweat to be able to make a difference. Climbing the highest heights of knowledge and scholarship and expertise and caring and compassion. But digging deep for values for the treasure which our country has. And then sailing out, not keeping it to ourselves, moving outwards. And I want you to try and read 3 books which are very important for you to understand. One I have already mentioned at the chapel service, Marshall Goldsmith's What Got You Here Will Not Get You There. So don't think that doing the same thing all the time will get you to greater heights. What got you here will not get you here. That's Marshall Goldsmith. The second is a beautiful philosophical book written by a guy called Erich Fromm. He's German. He says, to have or to be. To have or to be. And you'll find out all of us want to have. But try being. What a difference that will make. And the book that many of you would have read, Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point. In your own departments you will find that you will reach a stage where there is a tipping point. Suddenly, a whole lot of things will open up for you. Suddenly you will find, I've been struggling all this while. This happens when you study for examples. Suddenly, everything opens out for you. And many of our departments are in that stage. Look at your tipping point, and then suddenly, the whole thing will be different. I hope every week, Thursday morning, 8 to 9, you will set aside just to be here. And if we need more chairs, we will have more chairs. But I hope it will be a time when we come together as a community to learn from one another, to gain from one another, and to reach a totally different experience in life together. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you all for coming. There's tea or coffee waiting outside for you.